Hey, can you find a water bottle for me?
Something so simple.
Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, November the 4th, kind of a quiet post-Halloween day. They were supposed to roll out the Republicans' tax cut bill today, but it's been delayed. There seems to be some disagreements on just what deductions are going to be put in place and kept and eliminated, whether we're going to tax more of people's previously tax-deferred savings into 401k accounts, exactly where some of the rate reductions are going to apply on both corporate and individual taxpayers. These, in fact, are difficult questions that make passage of the bill difficult, much as Donald Trump wants to get it done by Christmas. Also today, the House is having a hearing in Washington on a bill to ban abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. This is effectively a ban on abortions entirely because you can't detect a pregnancy until about 6 weeks by a sonogram. The bill is patently unconstitutional. It's been struck down at the state level in a number of courts, but it is about sending a message to the base of the Republican voters that they place the fetus in importance above that of a woman's medical rights. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary and a native of Arkansas who got educated here, sorry to say, had a bad day yesterday. She stuck up for White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and quoted Ken Burns, a documentary filmmaker, in supporting Kelly's contention that, well, the Civil War just could have been avoided if we'd just been willing to compromise a little bit more. There were some terrible compromises that led up to the war, and the South wasn't willing to compromise on one key thing, and that was slavery. Well, Ken Burns entered the debate briefly and curtly and quickly in an 140-character Twitter burst, explained for Sarah Huckabee that whatever else you might say about the Civil War, the cause of it was indeed slavery. A lesson for the OBU graduate from Ken Burns. News in Arkansas about a player in a contentious issue about Donald Trump's judicial nominees. For only the second time in the last 29 years, an American Bar Association committee has given a unanimous not qualified rating to a candidate for the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers Arkansas. He's Leonard Graz, a Nebraska lawyer. The investigative panel for the ABA was headed by Cynthia Nance, a law professor at the University of Arkansas and a former dean there. She interviewed 183 people. A follow-up investigator found a similar thing, that Graz is a stalwart political advocate more than a lawyer. He's a lobbyist. He's strongly anti-choice and has no respect for Roe v. Wade, a number of other precedents. He's gratuitously rude. A number of lawyers said a lot of lawyers didn't want to be interviewed because they feared retribution from him. That's the kind of guy he is. Well, the Nebraska senators still want to have him confirmed. He likely will be, but the Senate Judiciary Committee is going to have Cynthia Nance before it to answer some questions November 15th. I don't think they're going to honor her for being honest and giving a tough assessment of the Republican judicial nominee, but I think she can handle herself. I know Cynthia Nance. I believe Cynthia Nance, to quote a previous famous Senate Judiciary Committee hearing theme. December 15th is the date to get your application in to participate in the health marketplace in Arkansas. Sign-up began today. The sign-up period was shortened. Obamacare still exists for the time being. You can still get coverage for people with pre-existing conditions, so check it out. Shop for a good insurance rate. The rates are going to be higher because some of the things that Donald Trump has brought about, but there still is a subsidized insurance plan for people in the marketplace. Take a look. The Tyson family is going to announce tomorrow a big gift to the Pryor Center at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, which is an archive of various historical things, including the vast TV archive of KATV, the news station in Little Rock. This will be a chance, once digitized, that this information can be readily accessed. Remember when Bud Campbell and Paul Eels were talking about the Razorbacks actually winning football games? It did happen, hard as it sometimes is to remember. And also from Northwest Arkansas, Senator Sen Hendren, the Republican leader and governor's nephew, has decided to drop out of a program by which people in drug court were essentially sentenced to work for free at his company, and he paid, but the money went to a rehab agency that applied some nominal drug rehabilitation program, but they work for free. This has been the subject of lawsuits. The practice has been in Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's contended that these people are essentially slave laborers in these programs. Hendren thought he was doing these people a favor, said some had worked their way into regular jobs after drug court stints, and he was sorry about it, but he said he just didn't need the publicity, and I can understand that. Well, another big story yesterday was the terrorism in New York. Somebody mowed down people on a bike path. apparently in the name of some religious fervor. And this immediately prompted the response you'd expect from Donald Trump and people like him, such as Tom Cotton, need to do something about the immigrants. Well, Tom Cotton has proposed to repeal an immigrant program that perhaps this man used in coming into the country about 9 years ago. He met education and work qualifications. It was a lottery system. Trump blames this on Charles Schumer, the senator from New York. In fact, Schumer tried to repeal the program, but opposition from Republicans stopped it from being repealed several years ago. Nonetheless, this is another one of those occasions where the Trump administration and its supporters are quick to talk about policy solutions when it's about immigrants or somebody who looks a little bit different than the rest of us. But let a white male U.S. citizen do something terrible like kill 50 or so people and shoot hundreds of others, and to talk about a policy change in response to that, well, that's politicizing a tragedy, and we just can't have that. Here's another note. Scribd, the book subscription services, did a 50-state survey of book preferences in the first couple of weeks in October, just to give us one of those state-by-state rankings. Several states were found to have preferred Hillary Clinton's campaign memoir more than any other book currently on sale. Out in California, they like a guy named Mark Manson who wrote about how you can learn how to just adopt a lifestyle of not giving a well flip, if to use an acceptable word for TV. Here in Arkansas, we like Dan Brown and his book Origin, the science fiction thriller that talks about the competing pull between creationism and a scientific explanation for origins of life here on this planet. I'm resisting fiction in favor of fact. I hope you keep resisting. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.